When you think of Formula One, you almost certainly think of Lewis Hamilton. Since his debut in 2007, he has been one of the sport's top performances. The Lewis Hamilton-Mercedes collaboration has achieved enormous success for both parties in recent years. 8 Constructors' Championships and 6 Driver Championships. Complete supremacy. But all good things must come to an end, and it appears that this is the case for Hamilton and Mercedes, as the 7-time world champion may depart the team at the end of this season. Why is this the case? And who will take his place if it is? Stay tuned to find out. The W14 may be capable of producing brief flashes of perfection, as it did last year. But the underlying position Hamilton and Mercedes are in today, and in the foreseeable future, is this. They are not contending for victories right now, and it is quite unlikely that they will battle for the 2023 crowns. Hamilton's contract with the Silver Arrows expires at the end of this season, and the long-awaited contract extension has yet to be signed. This casts doubt on Hamilton's future in the sport. The British driver has been linked to a move to a rival team as a result of Mercedes' issues. Speculation has grown since, after dominating the turbo hybrid period from 2014 to 2021, when he won 6 of his 7 world titles. Hamilton has yet to win a race, let alone compete for the championship. Wolff has even admitted that Lewis may depart if the team fails to give him with a car capable of fighting for a record-breaking 8th championship. Hamilton discussed his contract situation with Mercedes after finishing 6th in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Despite the persistent speculations, Hamilton has stated his intention to stay with the organization. Here's what he had to say. "I'm thinking long-term. I don't want to spend another year here. I'd want to remain a little longer." He's spoken previously of not seeing himself racing into his 40s, but also indicated earlier this season that he's still enjoying what I'm doing and feel like I've got plenty of fuel left in the tank. "I'm sure we'll sit down at some stage and talk about the future." Mercedes requires higher aerodynamic performance in general, but it is also exploring mechanical balancing. There are several issues here. However, in the broadest sense, the W14 simply lacks downforce. Fixing this does not necessitate a B-spec car. Mercedes cannot rebuild the chassis during the budget cap period because to the high expense, but rather a complete revamp of its aerodynamic platform. And the road from this automobile to a guaranteed superior idea that works well enough in practice to contend for victories is difficult and lengthy. In an interview with David Coulthard for Channel 4 F1, Wolff claimed that a contract extension for Hamilton was simply a matter of time. "The advantage is we speak a lot together, both live near each other in Monaco. Just last week we sat down and he says, 'Look, I have another 5 years in me. How do you see that?' Wolff said. Over time we have just grown together. We are totally transparent with each other. Lewis will be the first one to say, 'I can't do this anymore,' because I feel I haven't got the reactions anymore, or I've just lost fun doing it. And there is another generation growing up that is just very strong. So I have no doubt that whatever we agree on a contract extension, which is going to happen, that we both are always going to discuss very openly what does the future hold. Long term, Hamilton has a silver lining. However, it will not feel very tangible at this time. If this is accurate, Mercedes might end the season with a much more competitive car. However, there is no certainty, and with Red Bull fading into the distance, Hamilton will need to act swiftly. Before the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix weekend, Hamilton stated that he will win again in F1, and it is clear that his commitment is with Mercedes, and his desire to assist the team win the World Championship again appears to be tremendous. However, since joining the group, his patience has been put to the ultimate test. Last year was the first time he didn't win a race in a Mercedes season, or indeed, in his whole career. So if he decides to leave, where could he possibly go? According to most rumors, if Hamilton leaves Mercedes, he will want to join Ferrari. He may take his experience to the red side and strive to create a title-worthy car there in the next years. Hamilton has previously claimed that given Ferrari's history and reputation in the sport, everyone in the paddock would want to drive for them. If this happens, it will be one of the greatest comebacks in sports history. However, this would imply that one of the 2 Ferrari drivers would be departing. And the word has it that this is Leclerc. Leclerc is considered a favorite Hamilton replacement. But why would they consider him when he is already signed to Ferrari? Charles is without a doubt one of the best drivers on the grid. The Ferrari driver has delivered outstanding performances, demonstrating his talent and promise in the sport. Last season's start was loaded with promise for Leclerc, as he had fantastic races that made him believe his dream of being a world champion would come true. But it regrettably remained a dream due to Ferrari's poor strategic mistakes. This season's start has been no better for Leclerc, who has had a rough start that he is unhappy with. As Charles Leclerc has replied to speculation that he may leave Ferrari for Formula One rivals Mercedes if the Scuderia fails to deliver championship-winning machinery. In order to properly establish himself as Ferrari's long-term #1 driver, Leclerc signed a 5-year contract extension in 2020, with Sebastian Vettel being eased out of that role and the team. "I know you are worried that I would go to Mercedes, but the truth is that there are no talks at all," he told the Italian newspaper QN. "I feel good here at Ferrari, and I feel the enthusiasm of the people. The idea of winning with Ferrari makes me excited." During the unveiling of the SF23 in Fiorano, Leclerc was asked about his long-term future and admitted that negotiations for a renewal had not yet begun. "I think it's always important to be competitive," Leclerc said. "Speaking about my renewal in Ferrari, it is not something that I've been particularly thinking about already. There's still a long way to go. 2 years. I will do my best, not for the negotiations, but just for myself and for the team. You will know for sure when the talks start, but it's not the time yet." Toto Wolff has broken his silence on the rumors, claiming that his sole direct conversation with Leclerc was at Melbourne Airport. "I think nobody doubts Charles's ability. He is a good guy. The only time I talked with him was when we discussed where the gate was in Melbourne when we boarded the plane. No contact otherwise. I think he's 100% committed and loyal to Ferrari, and it's his contract. And in the same way, we are 100% committed to putting pen to paper with Lewis. Charles is a super guy, and for the long-term future, someone you need to always have on your radar." Talking about Lewis Hamilton, he described him as F1's shining star and the greatest personality that Formula One ever had. He also claimed that Fernando Alonso, who has been racing competitively in F1 well into his 40s, may serve as a longevity model for Hamilton. "I don't know if 40 is that age where you say that is not adequate anymore for a racing driver," Wolff added. "If you look at where Fernando is with 41 years, he's still very much there. Today, is he the same Fernando that he was at 25? I don't know, but he's very competitive still. You look at Tom Brady, NFL star, who is somebody I really admire for having the discipline in how he manages his life and his sport. He's 43 or 44, and he's on the pitch. So Lewis, with the way he leads his life, with the full, ultra-narrow focus on his Formula One racing, all the others are just hobbies. I think he can take it quite far." Wolff also wants Hamilton's current colleague George Russell to be maintained long-term, citing his admiration for Russell's achievements and assimilation into the current Mercedes setup, despite a particularly challenging season so far in 2022. "George has been great joining the team," Wolff said. "He's a good personality, he acts with integrity, he's very transparent working with Lewis. These two really have added to the team's development slope this year. He was obviously hoping to be in a Mercedes and win races and championships, which he got that timing wrong, but at least he has progressed to the midfield now. That time is going to come. He will win races. He will race for championships. And I think he absolutely has it in him. I feel very good to have him in the team over the long term." So, what are your thoughts? Will there be a Hamilton-Leclerc exchange in the future? Could Ferrari be the squad to fight Red Bull for Hamilton's 8th title? Please share your ideas in the comments section below. Like the Formula One content? Don't forget to subscribe so you can remain up to date on the newest news. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.